Now, here's my recycled explanation again for the theory that the GOP paved the way for Donald Trump. And so did Obama, by the way. I mean, Obama's actually the starting point. It's Obama's radicalism that actually begins the process which creates a scenario where somebody like Donald Trump charges in to fill an absolutely impossibly huge vacuum. Now, we knew who Obama was. Well, I did. From even before he was inaugurated. I don't know how many Republicans looked or today even look at Obama as a radical anything. Many of them just see him as the latest Democrat. But he's far more than that. He is the most radical leftist that has been elected president that's even gotten close to it. And because Obama was not stopped, because the Republican Party laid down, I'm telling folks, Donald Trump would not have exploded. Donald Trump would not have thought to even do any of this. Nor would any other outsider. I'm telling you, if the Republican Party had just simply, seriously tried to stop Obama, if they had just done what opposition parties are assumed to do. 2010, 2014, the Republican Party was given huge landslide victories, admittedly in midterm elections, but in both of them, one of them gave them the House of Representatives and a record number of Republicans in the House. The Democrats haven't had this few members of the House of Representatives since the Civil War. The 2014 midterms gave the Republicans the Senate. So, yeah, they were midterms, but they were huge, huge Democrat landslide defeats all the way down the ballot. On every issue that matters, on every issue that drove the turnout in 2010 and 2014, on every issue that not only drove the turnout, but resulted in massive Republican victories, the Republican Party took a dive. They did not make one serious effort at stopping Donald Trump or stopping Obama. Now they want to stop Trump, but they made not one effort to stop Obama. Now, admittedly, they couldn't have stopped Obamacare because they did not have the votes. But there wasn't, even though they didn't have the votes, they could have used the bully pulpit that they've got far more effectively than they did. They could have gone out and spent all the time they had educating people what it was, what Obamacare was. They could have done what we were doing here. They could have called Obama out on his lies, that it wasn't going to allow you to keep your doctor or your plan, that it wasn't going to reduce your premium $2,500, that it wasn't going to do anything it was promising to do. It was not going to insure the uninsured and reduce costs and make everybody available for health care, actual treatment. None of that was good. They could have gone out. They could have made the case. They could have set everybody up so that when they did get enough votes to stop it, they could have seriously made an effort to repeal it. Well, they talked repeal. They talked repeal during campaigns, but there was never one serious effort to repeal it. I don't need to remind you about amnesty and immigration and all of that. My point is that on every issue that matters, the Republican Party, which was asking for money and getting it, the Republican Party, which was asking for votes and got them, took a dive. Now they get energized. Now they get in gear. Now they get revved up. Now. And for what? To stop Ted Cruz, one of their own. You have to understand that in this environment, that is a huge vacuum. people of this country voting for Republican, even people that don't vote Republican, expect the Republican Party to try to stop what the opposing party is trying to do. That's the name of the game in politics. You supposedly bring to the table your core beliefs, your principles. When the other side wins, you stand up for yours. You do everything you can to convince people that the side that won is not good. They're going to do great harm. You set yourself up to win later elections down the road. But more than that, you do everything you can to stop what you disagree with. They didn't. And they still aren't. Now, I have nothing to do with this. Nobody on talk radio does. Nobody at Fox News does. Nobody's taking cues on Donald Trump from anybody but Donald Trump. He's perfectly capable of providing and giving the cues. He's done plenty to give people reasons to support him and to believe him. I mean, if the Republican Party had actually been opposed to Obama and acted like it, the vacuum would not have existed, making it much more difficult for Trump. When somebody comes in, enters a race, and is the only person from the outset that is voicing opposition to the status quo, and is identifying with people and their feelings about it and their thoughts about it, and is telling them he wants it to stop, why wouldn't people support that one voice? Then the primaries get going, and Ted Cruz joins that chorus. You get two people, maybe Rubio, but the other establishment Republicans, they've had their moments, but it's not something that the Republican Party is identified with, opposing Obama. Not by Republican voters. And by the way, the budget is the most recent example of this, but it's not just the budget. Look at all these. I mean, you can go back even the years of George W. Bush, folks, where there was no criticism of Democrats. The Democrats were out impugning, destroying George W. Bush and his administration, and by extension his voters, supporters. No defense of it, no pushback. And in fact, tell me if you remember this. You remember people like Senator McCain, Governor Christie at times, Mitch McConnell, John Boehner. I mean, pick your name. How many times do you remember them saying something like, we can't oppose Obama, that will anger the independents. We can't do that because that'll lead to a government shutdown for which we will be blamed. It doesn't matter what the issue is. Immigration, budget, Obamacare. The word had gone out. We can't oppose Obama. The independents won't like it. They'll get mad at criticism of the first black president, and they will run right back to the Democrats. So there wasn't any. And everybody else was told to shut up. Do not be critical. Do not oppose. They would tell you that we can't win elections by criticizing Obama. We can't win elections by criticizing Democrats. That's not what voters want. Voters want bipartisanship. Voters want cooperation. All of that literal BS. And so there wasn't any. They didn't even fight back on that stuff the IRS was doing to the Tea Party. Secretly, they might have actually enjoyed it because the Tea Party was competing for donor dollars. They didn't like the Tea Party. Look at the built-in majority coalitions the Republican Party punted. They could have had a majority coalition opposing Obamacare. Even when they didn't have the votes to stop it. Obamacare has never been supported by a majority of people. A majority of the American people have always opposed it. Republicans could have forged an alliance. They could have branched out. They could have expanded their demographic appeal. They could have done everything they claim that the party has to do to modernize and stay viable. But they didn't do it because it would have meant criticizing Obama. And for some reason, from somebody, they were told, can't do that. We'll never win elections that way. We will lose the election if we criticize Obama. We will lose the election if we don't appear to be bipartisan and able to make Washington work. So the IRS and Obama were allowed to basically defund the Tea Party by delaying or denying the awarding of tax-exempt status to various Tea Party groups. I mean, the list of issues is endless. They said, don't be combative, don't be angry, can't win. We've had to demonstrate we can cross the aisle. We've had to demonstrate we can cooperate. We've had to demonstrate we can be bipartisan. And I'm telling you, this is not why people showed up in record numbers in 2010 and 2014 to vote against Democrats. So don't believe that Donald Trump is the product of mind poisoning from talk radio. Donald Trump is the result of the radicalism of Barack Hussein O, combined with the Republican Party not standing up and opposing any of it. Not seriously. There were words during campaigns, but when it comes to actual policies being implemented or tried, they never made Obama veto anything. He'll just shut down the government. You know the drill. There was no serious effort to stop it, which is what voters wanted. There's a huge vacuum in that sense. So here comes Trump. That's why he got into it. And his entry into the campaign shook it up. The best laid plans of the establishment were turned upside down.